In today's video, we are going to perform some lab and understand some important configurations on peering. In previous video, we understood the conceptual part of Azure Virtual Network peering, and in today's one, we'll see how it works. So we are on our portal, Azure portal, okay, and under virtual networks, we have created two virtual networks, VNet for peering, and this was from previous labs. So two virtual networks so that we can pair inside the same region. It could have been a different region, but make sure there is no overlapping IPs. I'll show you. So when you create virtual network, there is nothing much when you create it. Just wanted to show you. You need to give the name of the virtual network and the IP address range. Okay. These parts will come to know when we proceed with this particular series that we are doing about Firewall and Bastion. But I'm pretty sure you guys are not new, absolutely new with Azure. You might be listening other videos of this series of this particular channel, Pachera Talk. So you must be aware of a lot of things already. Anyways, let's come to the point. Go to the virtual networks, click on VMRG VNet here. This is, let's call it VNet 1, and this is VNet for pairing is our VNet 2. So if we go under settings, you see, and go to peering, here we can add what we are adding. We are adding virtual network to get peer. It's talking about remote virtual network summary. Now this time we need the help of our sheet. So what are we doing? There is, let me create first Azure. Let's suppose this is our Azure. Okay, this is absolutely needed so that we could grasp the concept. There are some important concepts there. This is VNet 1, or this is VNet 1, let's call it, and this is VNet 2 on Azure Virtual Network. Okay, 2. Now what are we trying to do? We are trying to we are on VNet 1, or maybe we could call it, what is the name here? It's VMRG VNet. Okay, so this is VNet 1 or VMRG VNet. Both are same. We are calling VNet 1 so that it would be easy to understand, but as per our Azure portal, this is the name. So we are on this virtual network trying to pair it with the virtual network 2. And what is the name of virtual network 2 here? Here the name is VNet for peering. Okay, all right, so let it call VNet for peering. That is our VNet 2. I should have named VNet 1, VNet 2, but these were the old virtual networks. I'm just utilizing them rather creating from scratch. So, but now this is clear, right? So what are we doing? We are on the VNet 1 under settings. We are trying to add peering. Okay, add peering. Now we are here. Okay, we are here and we are trying to add peer, which means this VNet 2 will be the remote. Okay, because this is remote virtual network. Okay, because we are on this one. So this is local for us and this is remote for us. So we need to provide the information of VNet 2 here. Okay, so we can call it VNet 1 to VNet 2, pairing from 1 to 2. So we are calling it this. Rather, we should call it VNet 2 to VNet 1. For remote, we are giving the name. Okay, now here we need to provide the information of virtual network. Well, do not confuse with the name. You can call it whatever you like. You can call it whatever, that is fine. Okay, this is for our own convenience so that the naming convention is as such that we could understand what it actually means, and it will help us rather digging around and find out what is this. We can easily understand through the name. So you can call it VNet 2 to VNet 1 because this is the name of remote link. Okay, because this is under remote virtual network. Now under virtual networks, if you see, okay, there is none. Why there is none? In this subscription, very well, select the resource one. Somehow we selected the classic, that's why. So we have three virtual networks. Okay, this is the one that we are already in, as you can see here. Now if I choose this one, it will not allow us to do because overlaps, the IP address overlaps between these virtual networks that we studied or understood in the previous video. We want a different IP address or non-overlapping IP address. That's why we are choosing VNet 4 peering VMRG. This is the VNet 2 or the remote virtual network that we are peering with. So if I come here, right here, so what are we doing? We are peering these two, okay, and providing information on VNet 1 settings about this VNet 2. And the IP range here is 10.0.0.0/16, which means these two are constant and these two will change so that these will not overlap. And if we need to choose the 10 range, then the 10.1.0.0/16. These are the IP range of these virtual networks and non-overlapping IP addresses, right? Good. Now we have provided this information. Now these are the settings that we need to understand precisely and very important. The very first is allow VNet for peering to access VM RG VNet. So what this means simply means allow this VNet to do what? To access VM RG VNet. So to access, this is going in this direction, this direction, this direction. Allow access resources in VNet 1. Okay, so it is more or less like enabling the peering in this direction, okay, from remote to local. Okay, so checked. Now the second point is allow VNet for peering to receive forwarded traffic from VMRG VNet. Now, okay, we understood forwarded traffic to where? To this side. Okay, to this side from VNet 1 to VNet 2, and this is remote and this is local because we are seeing this from the perspective of VNet 1. But if we do the same thing from VNet 2, then it will appear other way around. We'll see that too. Now, what is forwarded traffic? This is forwarded traffic. Now, what is forwarded traffic that we need to understand? So, to put that in perspective, let's suppose this VNet 1 is acting as an hub network. Okay, if it is acting as an hub network, then it must be running some shared services like firewall. Okay, so if there is a firewall, okay, and we do have another virtual network, let's suppose here, which is paired with the hub network and traffic coming from here. Let's suppose there is a VM or which is generating the traffic wants to talk to a VM here. Okay, now we are understanding traffic forwarding here. Now this will go to firewall because this VM wants to talk to this VM. Now this firewall will forward the traffic to this VM through the peering. To enable that setting, we need to check that box forwarded traffic, and that traffic is called forwarded traffic. You see, allow VNet for to receive forwarded traffic. If you will not allow this, it will not receive the traffic coming or forwarded traffic. Okay, it will receive all of the traffic except forwarded traffic. Now, another setting is allow gateway or route server in VNet 4 to forward traffic to VM. So this is talking about other way around. Allow gateway in VNet 4. We do not have any gateway in VNet 4 here because this is hub, right? So if there is a gateway in here, we need to enable setting so that this can forward traffic as well. We'll see this setting, the gateway setting, from local perspective, because local is acting as an hub, okay, and hub must have the shared services like firewall and gateway. So this setting we'll see under local right here. Under local virtual network summary, we do have the same settings. So we have understood first enabling the peering, second forwarded traffic, third is gateway or route server, and fourth is enable VNet for peering to use VMRG remote gateway or route server. These two settings will understand from the perspective of local right here. Why? Because local is the one which is controlling everything because it is hub. Okay. But if you have two virtual network and remote is your hub or remote is your virtual network which has firewall and gateway, then you can start doing these checkbox. But for in our case it is local. So let's understand the local virtual network peering settings from here. Both are the same settings anyways. uh, this is our local. Okay, now we need something called gateway. Third point we are trying to understand. So our hub has gateway as well. Why we are using gateway? We are using gateway so that we can talk to our on premises or remote site or anything like that. We call it on premises. We have virtual machines here, and there is internet, of course. Okay, there is an internet, and through the internet we have to create a tunnel, internet tunnel, which is talking to the gateway. This is our VPN tunnel. Okay, now there is a connectivity to the hub. So on premises can talk to the virtual machines in gateway, or in the hub. However, the idea is this guy should talk to the this guy. Okay, how this will reach to VM? Through this virtual network which has gateway. Why we have gateway? To establish VPN tunnel. Okay, so the traffic will go like this. This will generate traffic, it will go through VPN tunnel, it will go to the gateway. Now this traffic supposed to reach this VM. Okay, but to reach this VM there must be some setting here that needs to be enabled, because these are connected through peering. These are independent or separate virtual network connected through peering. So under peering there are certain configurations. So this is that configuration. Allow gateway to forward traffic to VNet peering, just like allow forwarded traffic. This is allow gateway to forward traffic. So we are enabling gateway on VNet 1, which is our local or hub network, to forward traffic, right? Forward traffic to VNet for peering, which is our VNet 2. Okay, so that this is that setting. Now the fourth setting is enable VMRG VNet to use remote gateway or route server. Now this setting we will understand from the remote perspective. Enable VNet for peering to use VMRG gateway. So what actually we are doing in the setting third, the gateway is forwarding traffic to this side. Okay, so we can write just to understand gateway forwarding traffic. Okay, now what if this particular VM wants to talk to this VM? So this fourth setting is we are enabling this gateway, because for this particular VNet 2, when we see from the VNet 2 perspective, this becomes remote. This gateway becomes remote because this is not local to this VNet. This becomes remote, and we are allowing. We are allowing what? We are allowing remote gateway to use VMRG remote gateway. We are allowing this VM to use remote gateway and talk to this guy. So these are the four settings. So just we should definitely summarize or go through it again because these are very important settings. First is enable peering. Okay, first we need to understand two important aspect of it: local and remote. Okay, that we have already showed you. From if we are on the VMRG VNet 1, remote is the one we are peering with, and local is on which we are working, right? I was also showing you the ranges. Let me show you that as well before I see 10.016 and VNet 4 1.016, and in under VNet VNet 2 or VNet 4 peering, name of the VNet, go to the peering and we can add peering here. If we now the remote will be the VNet 1. Okay, simple, it's not confusing. So we need to understand local and remote. Now these settings are very important. Let me capture these settings. Okay, now it is fine. So the first is enabling the peering. It's nothing so complex, just enabling the peering, so it is always by default checked. The second is allow the peered virtual network to receive forwarded traffic from VNet peering. Forwarded traffic means traffic coming from NVAs or firewall, because that's how we securely create the topology, network topology, like hub and spoke. These are not connected to each other. There is no connectivity between these two VM, because we want the traffic go through firewall to any other resource. So when traffic goes through firewall, it would be forwarded traffic. Now the third point is allow gateway or route server in the peered virtual network to forward traffic to the VNet. This is just the name of the virtual network, don't get confused. So third setting is this gateway, virtual private network gateway, VPN, which will help you to connect the on premises. So traffic is coming from on premises to this gateway. Now we are enabling this gateway, allow forwarded traffic through this gateway, so that on premises traffic could come here and talk to this particular virtual network. Similarly, the fourth is peered virtual network to use remote gateway. Now we were talking about this way, now we are talking about this way. Now this virtual machine talking to the on premises via gateway, so utilizing the remote gateway. These are the four settings that we should be aware of, and it will help us to configure the network topology better, secure, and that's all about it. Well, I hope you liked it. Thank you for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day. Bye bye.